I want to talk to you today about expecting a favor-filled future. You see, life will always try to convince us that we are stuck, that nothing is changing, that the odds are against us. But I'm here to remind you that when you walk in faith, you're not walking alone. God's favor is with you. The power of expectation. What you expect is what you draw into your life. If you wake up expecting problems, you're going to find them. But if you wake up saying, I am blessed, I am highly favored, I am stepping into new opportunities, then you are setting yourself up for victory. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. God's favor is already upon you. You don't have to beg for God's favor. It's already working on your behalf. Before you even got here today, God was arranging people, resources, and opportunities to bless you. The problem is, too many people live with a limited mindset. They think favor is only for special people. But I want you to know, you are God's child, and favor belongs to you. Overcoming doubt and negativity. Now, the enemy would love for you to doubt this. He wants you to focus on what's wrong, on the past, mistakes, on what didn't work out. But the truth is, nothing, no mistake, no failure can stop God's favor when you walk in faith. Positioning yourself for favor. But here's the key. You have to get into alignment. You can't talk defeat and expect victory. You can't complain about how hard life is and expect things to change. The way you position yourself for favor is by speaking it, believing it, and acting in faith. Challenges as a setup for greater blessings. Now, I know sometimes it feels like life is against you. You may be going through a difficult time, but let me remind you that setback is really a setup for something greater. When Joseph was thrown into prison, it seemed like the end, but God's favor was at work behind the scenes. That prison was just a doorway to the palace. What looked like a loss was really positioning him for promotion. It's speaking and declaring favor. So I want to encourage you today. Start declaring favor over your life. Say, I am surrounded by God's goodness. Blessings are chasing me down. Doors are opening that no man can shut. The right people are coming into my life. My future is favor-filled. When you live with this kind of expectation, you're going to see things shift in your favor. Promotions you didn't expect, breakthroughs that seemed impossible, opportunities that come out of nowhere. That's what happens when you believe that God has already prepared a favor-filled future just for you. So get ready. Your best days are ahead and your future is filled with God's favor. You attract. Expectation is like a magnet. It draws in the things we believe for, whether good or bad. If you constantly expect difficulties, delays, and disappointments, then life will respond in kind. But when you wake up with an attitude of faith, believing that good things are coming your way, you set yourself up for success. This is not just positive thinking. It's a spiritual principle. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That means our lives follow our expectations. If we expect to struggle, we'll find struggle. If we expect favor, we will walk in favor. God works in an atmosphere of faith, and faith is fueled by expectation. That's why Jesus often asked people before healing them, do you believe? He wasn't asking if they hoped it might happen. He was looking for expectation. Too often, people lower their expectations because they've been disappointed. Maybe a door didn't open, an opportunity was missed, or life didn't go as planned. Over time, they stop expecting good things and start expecting more of the same. But that's a dangerous mindset, because what you expect, you eventually speak. And what you speak, you bring into existence. If you keep saying, nothing ever works out for me, you are setting the course for failure. But if you declare, God's favor surrounds me, good breaks are headed my way, something great is coming, you are aligning your life with His blessings. Expectation is a powerful force. It changes how you pray, how you talk, and how you respond to challenges. When David faced Goliath, he didn't walk onto the battlefield hoping he might win. He expected victory. He declared, this day the Lord will deliver you into my hands. That expectation is what activated God's favor in his life. Maybe you're believing for something big, a promotion, a healing, a breakthrough, The question is, are you truly expecting it? Are you preparing for it? If you're single and expecting God to bring the right person into your life, are you living in a way that reflects that expectation? If you're believing for a business opportunity, are you positioning yourself to receive it? Expectation leads to preparation. When you truly expect God's favor, you start getting ready for it. Expectation also keeps you moving forward in difficult times. Joseph in the Bible was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and falsely imprisoned, but he never lost his expectation of God's favor. Even in prison, he acted like someone who was blessed. He didn't let circumstances define him. He let his expectation of God's goodness define him, and because of that, he was elevated from the prison to the palace. Today, I encourage you to raise your level of expectation. No more settling for average. No more believing for just enough to get by. Start expecting abundance, favor, breakthroughs, and opportunities. When you do, you'll see doors open that you never imagined, and you'll walk into a future filled with God's best. God's favor is not something you have to earn, work for, or struggle to receive. It is already upon you. The moment you gave your life to Him, He placed His hand of favor on you. Before you were even born, He had already planned good things for your future. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago." That means favor is not something you have to chase. It is something you walk in. Too many people live as if they have to qualify for God's blessings. They think if they pray enough, do enough good deeds, or avoid every mistake, then God might bless them. But that is a limited way of thinking. Favor is not based on performance, it is based on relationship. You are God's child, and just like a good father delights in blessing his children, your heavenly Father delights in blessing you. You don't have to beg for His favor, it is already working on your behalf. Think about a child born into royalty. That child doesn't have to do anything to earn their royal status. They don't have to prove themselves or achieve anything before they receive the privileges of being part of the royal family. They simply inherit it by birth. In the same way, you have inherited divine favor because you belong to God's family. You don't have to struggle to be favored. You are already favored. When you truly understand this, it changes how you see yourself. You stop living with a defeated mentality, thinking that other people are more blessed than you. You stop comparing yourself and wondering why good things happen to others but not to you. Instead, you start walking with confidence, knowing that favor is surrounding you, guiding you, and opening doors for you. Psalm 5:12 says, "Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield." That means favor is not just something that comes and goes. It is surrounding you, protecting you, and leading you into your destiny. The challenge is that many people don't recognize God's favor in their lives because they are looking for something dramatic. They expect favor to always come in the form of a huge promotion, a financial windfall, or a miraculous healing. But favor also comes in small ways, through the right connections, through being at the right place at the right time, through doors opening that you didn't even knock on. Maybe you've had disappointments in life and you feel like favor has passed you by. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not working. God's favor is already at work behind the scenes, arranging things in your favor. Your job is not to chase it, it's to walk in it with faith and confidence. When you believe that you are already favored, you will start seeing His blessings manifest in ways you never expected. Doubt and negativity are two of the biggest barriers to experiencing God's favor. They act like walls that block blessings from flowing into your life. The enemy knows that if he can get you to doubt, to focus on what's wrong, and to speak defeat, he can keep you from walking in the fullness of what God has for you. That's why controlling your thoughts and words is so important. You cannot live a victorious life with a defeated mindset. Many times people pray for favor, but deep down, they don't truly believe it will happen for them. They might believe God can bless others, but they struggle to believe He will do it for them. This doubt creates hesitation, and hesitation creates missed opportunities. James 1:6-7 says, "But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord." This shows us that doubt is not just a small issue. It can keep us from receiving what God has already planned for us. Negativity works the same way. Some people have conditioned themselves to expect the worst. They've faced disappointments, setbacks, and struggles, and now they automatically assume things will never change. Instead of believing for favor, they prepare for failure. Instead of expecting open doors, they expect rejection. But what you expect, you attract. If you go into a job interview thinking, I probably won't get this position, you are already limiting yourself. If you walk into a new season of life saying, things never work out for me, you are closing the door on God's blessings before they even have a chance to reach you. Your words are powerful. Proverbs 18:21 says, the tongue has the power of life and death. What you speak over your life will shape your future. If you constantly say, I'm not smart enough, I'll never get ahead, things will always be hard, you are reinforcing the very things you want to overcome. But if you start declaring favor, even before you see it, you are preparing the way for blessings to come. Say things like, I am blessed, I am highly favored, good things are coming my way, and watch how your attitude and circumstances begin to change. One of the best ways to overcome doubt and negativity is through gratitude. Instead of focusing on what's missing, focus on what God has already done. When you shift your perspective and start seeing His hand in your life, even in small ways, it builds your faith. The more you recognize favor, the more you will experience it. No matter what has happened in the past, you have the power to change your mindset. Choose to reject doubt and negativity. Choose to believe in God's goodness. Choose to expect His favor in your life. When you do, you will start walking in the blessings He has already prepared for you. Positioning yourself for favor means aligning your actions, thoughts, and words with God's promises. Favor is not just about what God wants to do for you, it's also about how you prepare yourself to receive it. Many people desire blessings, but they are not in the right place, mentally, spiritually, or even physically, to receive them. God's favor is always available, but we must be ready to step into it. One of the key ways to position yourself for favor is by having the right mindset. If you see yourself as unworthy, undeserving, or stuck in your circumstances, you may miss the opportunities that God places in your path. The way you think affects the way you act. If you believe that you are favored, you will walk with confidence, make bold decisions, and take advantage of the doors that open for you. But if you are filled with self-doubt and hesitation, you may talk yourself out of blessings that were meant for you. That's why Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you align your thinking with God's truth, you prepare yourself for favor. Another important way to position yourself is through obedience. God's favor often follows faithfulness. When you are diligent in what He has given you to do, whether it's your job, your family, or your ministry, you are creating a foundation for greater blessings. Luke 16:10 says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. If you want to see more favor in your life, be faithful with what you have now. Show up, do your best, keep a good attitude, and watch how God increases you. The words you speak also play a major role in positioning yourself for favor. Your words create the atmosphere of your life. If you are constantly speaking doubt, negativity, or fear, you are pushing favor away. But when you declare God's promises over your life, you are setting the stage for breakthroughs. Instead of saying, nothing ever works out for me, instead of saying, I'll never get ahead, say, God is making a way for me and favor is working on my behalf. Your words should reflect the favor you want to walk in. Surrounding yourself with the right people is another key factor. If you spend time with people who are always complaining, doubting, and speaking negatively, it will affect you. But when you surround yourself with people of faith, people who speak life, who encourage and uplift you, it strengthens your ability to believe for favor. Finally, positioning yourself for favor means taking action. You can't just sit back and hope things will change. Step out in faith. Apply for that opportunity. Pursue your dreams and trust that God's favor will meet you along the way. When you align your mindset, actions, and words with God's promises, you put yourself in the perfect position to experience His abundant favor. Challenges are not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes they are a setup for something greater. When difficulties arise, it's easy to feel discouraged and wonder why things aren't going according to plan. But what may seem like a setback is often part of God's strategy to position you for a higher level of favor. Many times the doors that close, the delays you face, and the struggles you endure are not there to stop you, but to prepare you for something better. In the Bible, Joseph experienced this firsthand. He had a dream that he would one day be in a position of leadership, but instead of rising to the top immediately, he faced betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. It would have been easy for him to get bitter and give up on the dream God gave him. But what seemed like a series of misfortunes was actually a setup for his greatest blessing. If he had not been sold into slavery, he would never have ended up in Egypt. If he had not been falsely accused and imprisoned, he would never have met the key people who helped him step into his destiny. What looked like setbacks were actually divine setups. The same principle applies to your life. The struggles you are facing may not be obstacles, they may be stepping stones. That job that didn't work out, that opportunity that fell through, or that relationship that ended may actually be God redirecting you to something far greater. You may not see it now, but if you stay faithful and trust Him, you will look back one day and realize that what seemed like a loss was actually making room for something better. God often uses challenges to refine and strengthen us. When things come easily, we don't always develop the character, patience, and perseverance needed for the next level of blessings. Sometimes, the struggle is necessary to prepare us for what's ahead. Just like a seed has to be buried before it can grow, sometimes we have to go through seasons where it feels like we are hidden or overlooked. But in those times, God is working behind the scenes, developing us so that when the right opportunity comes, we are fully prepared to handle it. It's important to change your perspective on difficulties. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, how is this setting me up for something greater? Instead of seeing problems as roadblocks, see them as pathways to promotion. Trust that God is using every challenge to bring you closer to your purpose. No matter what setbacks you've faced, God's favor is still on your life. Stay in faith, keep doing your best, and refuse to be discouraged. The delay is not a denial. What was meant for harm, God is turning for good. At the right time, you will step into the blessings and opportunities that have been waiting for you all along. Your current challenges are just a setup for the greater favor that is coming your way. Living with expectation is not just about hoping for good things. It's about developing a mindset that consistently looks for God's favor in every situation. When you wake up each day expecting opportunities, blessings, and breakthroughs, you are positioning yourself to receive them. Expectation is an act of faith. It is saying, God, I trust that you are working in my life, that doors are opening, that favor is surrounding me, and that something good is coming my way. Too often, people let circumstances dictate their expectations. If they've been through disappointment, they expect more disappointment. If they've faced delays, they expect things to always take longer. But you have to shift your thinking. Instead of expecting difficulties, start expecting favor. Instead of saying, this situation will probably get worse, declare, God is about to turn this around. Instead of thinking, I never get any good breaks, say, something amazing is coming my way. Your expectation sets the direction of your life. The Bible is filled with examples of people who received miracles because of their expectation. In Mark 5, there was a woman who had been suffering from a disease for 12 years. She had spent all she had on doctors and nothing had worked. But she had an expectation that if she could just touch Jesus' garment, she would be healed. She didn't just hope for it, she expected it. Her expectation led her to take action. And when she touched his garment, she was instantly healed. What would happen if you lived with that kind of expectation? What if you woke up each day saying, something good is going to happen to me today? What if you walked into every situation expecting favor, solutions, and breakthroughs? Your faith would be activated and you would start to see doors open, opportunities come, and blessings manifest in ways you never imagined. Expectation also keeps you strong in the waiting. Sometimes what we are believing for doesn't happen overnight. There may be delays, challenges, and moments when it seems like nothing is changing. But expectation allows you to keep trusting, keep moving forward, and keep believing, even when you don't see immediate results. When David was anointed to be king, he didn't take the throne the next day. He went through years of battles, hardships, and even betrayals. But he never lost his expectation of God's favor. And in the right time, he stepped into his destiny. No matter what season you are in, keep expecting God's goodness. Expect new opportunities. Expect healing. Expect restoration. Expect favor in your finances, relationships, and career. When you shift your mindset to expectation, you will start to recognize God's hand in ways you never noticed before. The favor-filled future you are hoping for is not just wishful thinking. It's a reality that you are stepping into. Keep believing, keep expecting, and watch as God exceeds your expectations with His abundant blessings. As you move forward, remember that a favor future is not just a possibility, it is a promise. God's favor is already upon you, working behind the scenes, opening doors and preparing the way for blessings beyond what you can imagine. But to fully walk in that favor, you must expect it, speak it, and position yourself for it. Let go of doubt and negativity. Stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as setups for something greater. Trust that every delay, every disappointment, and every difficulty is leading you toward a divine opportunity. Align your thoughts, words, and actions with God's promises and live with the expectation that something good is always on the way. No matter where you are today, know that your best days are still ahead. Keep believing, keep expecting, and keep walking in faith. When you do, you will see doors open that you never imagined, experience blessings that you never thought possible, and step into the favor-filled future that God has already prepared for you.